Hi, how is every one of you doing today? I'm I'm doing good. I thank God for that. It's been a while since I posted a video. I've been quite busy at work, but I thank God for that. So today I want to talk about something that I was just discussing with some of my friends, a friend yesterday actually, and it's actually on planning for your generation, planning for your children. Um, Before I go into it, for the ones who are listening to me for the first time, my name is Jerusha Igombo. I'm a banker by profession. I'm a mom, and I'm a born again Christian, and I love the Lord. And I always love sharing. Sometimes in form of a video, or sometimes I would just blog and write about it. What the Lord has placed in my heart. And today I want to talk about planning for your children. I'll go straight to the word. Proverbs 13:22 says, "A good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children, but the wealth of the sinner is stored up for the righteous." I want to talk about the first part where it talks about leaving an inheritance not only for your children but for your grandchildren. And the part of planning I want to just talk about is financially planning for them, and how this came about. I had this dream. I rarely do share my dreams with people, but this one, I let me just share because it's related to this. So I in that dream I had gone to a school, and the school was having like a prize giving day for its kids, like the ones who'd done their class 8 had finished, so they had called them back to award them. By the time they were awarding them, they were already in Form 1. So there was this very brilliant young lady there, and I remember from the way people were talking, she had scored very highly, but hadn't gone to high school, and she had been placed with the mom on some apprenticeship that. And I don't remember exactly what apprenticeship that was, but then there were other students who'd gone to very good high schools, some private, some government. And the women were actually gossiping about this mother, and one of them was quite harsh. I remember, and he was like, "This woman is a very foolish woman. How can a brilliant girl like this not be in school?" And in that dream, I was offended that this other woman was so harsh about it. And then I woke up, and I just sat and I was just thinking about it, and I was like, what a weird dream for me to actually have, you know? And I remember the Holy Spirit said it quite clearly that indeed that woman was foolish. And I wrote it down, and he said, failing to plan financially for your children is indeed foolishness. And it actually made me question. And I looked back at my life and how I started work. I remember when I'd started working, for me, I got a small, we call them SQs. Basically, that's like a small room. It's just one room. You'll have your kitchen there. You'll have everything. And I remember when I was starting out, I just had like a mattress and what is it called? We call it the mekos here, but it can be a small stove where you cook. But you see, for me, that was, I get a job, I get my own place, I start from scratch. I didn't expect anything from my parents. My parents then had already passed on, but there was no expectation that they would have left me something to start with. And I questioned myself and I said, do I want my children? I have one child now, but I know I'll have maybe one or two more later on. But do I want my children to start where I started? And of course the answer is definitely not. So what am I doing right now to ensure that I secure myself financially so that by the time it comes to them, they've finished school, they've gotten a job, what would I do as a parent to start them off? What do I do? And I remember I sat and I was just saying, it can't be the same. My son can't start the same way I did. It's actually wouldn't be fair for me as a parent who has this revelation of, I need to leave an inheritance for him, and not only for him but for his children. So what am I doing now to ensure that I secure his future? And there's the basics, the education. Of course, we are paying his school fees right now, and he's just not going to be in primary only. There'll be high school, there'll be university. So, apart from that, apart from education, how will you start him off? And I called it canceling the cycle of poverty. It just can't be. It can't be the same. History cannot repeat itself. And I looked at it as simple as, now this is me. You might think of doing it differently, because everyone has an idea of what they want to do. So for me, I said, we call them a savings account, and I said as little as 2,000 to 5,000 every month. I just put it there without even thinking about it, and I'm saying I'm not going to touch it until he's like 21 or 24, whichever will come first, when he'll start working. But he'll have a different start. It won't be, I'm waiting for my first salary, I get a house, I get a mattress, I get, no. The basics need to be taken care of. God willing, if I can even get him a small car, why not? So that he starts from a level that is different from where I started. I can imagine, for example, just think about it. If my dad had left me a house, let's say maybe not even a house, maybe just a small apartment, a 1-bedroom, a 2-bedroom apartment. So my first house, or I would say the first thing I would have wanted to buy, you've bought yourself a car, you can move from point A to point B. Now you're saying, I don't want to pay rent, let me get a mortgage. But imagine if I wasn't thinking of let me get a mortgage. If I wasn't thinking of that, because it already had been provided, that means rent would not have been one of the things I would be thinking of when I started working. I'd be thinking of, can I start saving into something? Do I start saving for my master's immediately? So there are so many things that, if parents had set them before, would actually have made my life much easier. So the question is, for you and me who are now parents, probably some of you are thinking of having kids, you haven't started the journey yet. How do you ensure that your children start off at a higher base than how you started? That's one of the questions that I really want you to ask yourself. And just not the basics, that's not the minimum. Where you're thinking of food, shelter, clothing, that's your responsibility. I'm talking about, how do you start them off in life? I think it's one of the things that really, really made me think about it. Wow, this I think this conversation is close to my heart. And secondly, how are you planning yourself for old age? Our generation, especially, and I don't want to stereotype, but I would say, especially in Africa, our generation, we have seen, it's been, you work, you retire, then you expect your children to take care of you. I don't think that's right. I think it's good if we sat and you said, how do I plan for my old age? How am I ensuring that I would have some form of income as I retire? Yes, there'll be the pension that is coming in, and if you have a good pension plan, that is good for you, that you'll have that annuity that pays you on a monthly basis. Yes, but is that annuity enough? Do you need to buffer it? Do you want to look for something that you would do that would ensure that in future you would actually have income coming in, so that it's not your children taking care of you, so that we break that cycle? Let your child be. Let him grow, let him start his job, let him do his investments, let him get a family, let him build his family without the worry that they have to take care of mom and dad. What kind of medical plan are you planning to have? Are we going to retire and you don't have a medical plan? So when you fall sick, it's again the children to come together and take care of you. I think for me today, all I wanted to stop in you is, is planning. Just plan financially for your kids, for yourself, because failure to plan is actually planning to fail. And I really hope that this has stirred up some thought in you, and probably even stirred you to action if you haven't started doing it, because it would be good if the next generation would not start where we started. It would be good if they started someone and said, mom left me this or dad left me this, and they now start thinking of the next generation. So it becomes better financially. I would even think emotionally, and just I'm even losing words to explain it. But I guess my prayer is the Lord stirs you to start thinking of what next for my kids, not just the basics, but just starting them off in life. And I'm hoping that He gives you the ideas of what to do. Just pray a simple prayer and ask Him for the ideas, and He'll give you those ideas of what to do for your kids and just for yourself. That is all I wanted to share. Thanks for listening, and have a nice day. Bye.